And I'm joined in the studio now by Steve Bolsh from Larrakia Trade Training Centre. And Steve, you have a guest with you because you guys have gone into or developed a partnership, I believe, which is going to be of benefit to everybody.
That's right. Good morning, Peter, and fantastic day in the territory again. As we announced yesterday, and in fact we signed a document with Site Skills Training, which gives us a business partnership relationship whereby we will provide our training services in a combined and collaborative way to really expand the range of training offerings that we can provide. And yes, you're right, I've brought a guest in with me this morning, Chris Gittins from Site Skills Training is here this morning to talk a little bit about, the site skills side of the partnership.
How did this come about, Chris?
Yeah, good question, actually. I'm trying to think how it came about, but actually, to be honest, I actually don't recall how we first met each other.
Yeah, we basically had a contact. We as a local territory-based organisation, Pete, I guess we were on the lookout that for these big projects, major players are going to come to town, and we were looking for the right partner to join with so that we could provide the sort of capacity that the larger projects require you to have, the range of training. And we wanted somebody who was a good fit for our training model. We provide the traditional trade training area. Site skills training primarily do the high-risk training. They've got all the capacity and the equipment to do that, so it fitted really well with us.
So when you talk about high risk, what are we actually talking about, Chris?
Well, essentially, we're talking about the construction skills. So all the areas, if you think mainly around this sort of the Inpex project, obviously there's a huge amount of people engaged in the construction activity, and that's scaffolding, rigging, operating mobile plant, height safety, confined spaces, all those. A lot of those, basically what are regarded as the high risk activities in a construction project. So,
okay.
So our sort of specialty is obviously in that space, and obviously we've sort of met Steve and his people who really specialise in the trade training, welding, fabrication, electrical, and so the obvious thing was well let's partner up together. We're different range of services, but together we're it really gives us a considerable scope and sort of capacity, really.
Well, it adds more strength, doesn't it? I mean, and as we go along in this day and age, it's a case of grow or go.
That's right, Pete. And when we looked at some of the areas that site trains, the investment that we would have had to have put in to ramp ourselves up in our own right meant that it was really not possible for us to do that. So it just made sense. And we can see with the big projects already, industry themselves partner up. We saw for the first stage of the Inpex project, two big organisations like McMahon and John, they put a joint venture partnership together in order to bid for and win that work. So we're doing something similar here, whereby a territory-based, territory-centred organisation like Larrakia Trade Training Centre is partnering with a national and international provider who just broadens our scope and our capacity to deliver.
So does this mean new facilities, new premises?
Well, basically, we've both got facilities at the moment, and so really we're going to go through sort of a co-branding sort of exercise, I guess. We have a facility set up in Winnelly, which is essentially, as we said, around the high-risk training.
Yep.
And then, of course, there's a Larrakia Trade Training Centre. So I guess the sort of clients in the territory and business, industry, all the rest of it, we're saying, well, we've got a dedicated high-risk training centre and we've got a dedicated trade training.
You mentioned something about the Philippines earlier on too, and that it's still sort of resonating in my head at the moment. It's boggling.
I went up and visited Site Skills at their invitation about a month and a half ago with one of my directors, and
in the Philippines.
In the Philippines, yeah. We went up and visited this training facility that they have up there, and it's extraordinary. I mean, they have a former World Expo site, and they have a 15,000 seat stadium as part of the facilities they've got there, and they can accommodate like 900 people on site and do a lot of training for some of the very big players, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the most significant thing we have at the moment up there, we won a contract with Shell for the Melon Pyre project, which is a big offshore project running gas into the Philippines. We've also got clients from the Middle East. We've just recently picked up a very good contract training 120 Papua New Guineans in heavy diesel fitting, camp services, welding, fabrication trades, and And really our intent around this facility was that we basically would offer accredited Australian training and pretty much worldwide. So we have people pretty much around the world going to the facility.
I don't think, I mean, everybody kept talking about the potential prosperity that was going to come from the development of the mining industry and gas with Inpex, but I don't think anybody really sat down and thought about just how big this whole thing is and where it puts us in terms of lifting us up into a real world game.
Absolutely. And within this partnership, our focus is definitely train as many local people as we can, but using the resources of a bigger partner with great capacity. I mean, we've been talking about sharing trainers and having their trainers come in from other places to help with the delivery of training here. So all of that underwrites our ability as a territory-based organisation to just deliver to the bigger projects. And if you don't have that capacity, you tend to miss out a lot with the larger organisations, because they want to be able to come to you and get you to do a whole range of things. And if you can't do it all, you've got to find someone to work with who can help you to be able to deliver it all.
Well, they want a one-stop shop, don't they? Because it saves a lot of mucking around.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's difficulties in dealing with people. It's better if you can just keep it in a
That's right.
sort of linear fashion.
And it also ensures, from a training perspective, the quality and the standard of what we deliver.
I believe you got a new board member.
Yes, we were delighted to announce yesterday that former Chief Minister Paul Henderson is joining our board. Paul and I go back a while. We were in the Parliament together, and we happened to be on a plane coming back from Adelaide a couple of months ago, and Paul and I were having a chat about, you know, he was asking me how the Larrakia Trade Training Centre was going, because he was quite instrumental in his day in getting the Trade Centre developed. And when I came back, I said to my chairman, Michael Martin, you should give Paul a call, because he's still got the passion for it. And as he said, he
was a tradie, wasn't he?
He was a fitter and turner, and so he has a great passion for the trades environment. And it's a bit of a full circle, really, to think that he was so involved at that chief ministerial level, together with Inpex, in the development of the facility, to now welcome him onto our board. Again, with your directors, you're looking for capacity and reach and contacts. And boy, he brings a portfolio in that regard for our business.
No, he's no slouch, and as you say, he's had a lot of experience.
Absolutely.
Guys, good luck with the venture. Thank you very much for coming in today. And that's Steve Bolsh from Larrakia Trade Training Centre and Chris Gittins from Site Skills Training. All right?
That's right.
Thank you. Cheers.
Pleasure, guys. Have a
Thanks,
good
Pete.
afternoon.